your seat, light it up, let's unwind. Kevin and Kerr bringing topics of all kinds, from cigars to sports, family and more. Everyday stories you'll want to explore. So take a puff or ponder away. Join the talk, it's the highlight of your day. Puff and ponder where the sparks ignite. Conversations blazing day or night. Tune in now, let the stories take flight. It's the Puff and Ponder podcast, where we get it right. From fast cars to last night's game, family laughs or today's big name. We've got the topics, we've got the vibe. Stay tuned in and enjoy the ride. So lean back, relax, take a break. Kevin and Kerr got the chat you'll appreciate. Puff and Ponder, the show that's great, where conversations ignite. Don't hesitate.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Puff and Ponder podcast, where conversations at night. I'm your host, Kevin from Cigar Prop. Joining me, Kerr Viajante from Stogie Road Cigar as co-host. And I got to turn one of these mics off. Let me see if you can still hear me. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so that was the right one.
Yeah.
Because I was getting a little background noise from the other one. So what's going on, Kerr?
That sounds clear too, man.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, sometimes when I have the two on, it's I get a little background feedback from the other one.
Not much, man. Just hanging out.
Oh,
you know?
Man. So moments ago, I had a UPS package, Kerr. The guy comes up. He's got an earbud in. He's talking to someone. Hands me my package. And he's like, "All right, have a good night, man. This is the package, Kerr." He hands me. Just hands it to me. He's like,
like it was nothing.
Yeah, like it was nothing. Like it's like, all right, there you go, man. Have a good one. And what was inside this big box? One individual lighter bleed tool from Amazon. It was a return that someone made after they opened up the package, broke it, and then sent it back, and saying it was defective. But yeah, this was. Did you
stop him? Did you say, hey,
what am I gonna? What was he gonna do? He'd be like, UPS, whatever. It's almost like Jim Carrey was just kicking it to my house.
That's
so
freaking hilarious.
Oh my God.
God Almighty! That's when you get stuff like that, and I've seen our mail lady. So I've seen her, like, I could see her from my window, like in our mailbox. I'm just like, just get out and walk down the freaking driveway and say, "Here you go." And I go in there and I'm like pulling out bags and it's tearing, and freaking boxes are all freaking mangled up.
That's why you got to get a big one by your front door, like I do, like something decorative. But and then from Amazon, I've had that like lighter bleed tools. I've had them come back in boxes twice this size. Look at my head. Twice this size will have one tiny little thing in it.
Why?
And it's so I watched the video because I had to research it once why Amazon screws up packaging so bad. But first, I need a cigar. I'm finishing up with a McAuliffe Black because I took a late afternoon nap and my head is all full of sleepy, so I need something bold. What are you smoking?
Room 101 10th anniversary.
Oh, right on. I'm gonna light up this Tatuaje Corojo, this little one, because I gotta start getting rid of my Tatuaje. I've just been hoarding them, and I need to start smoking them.
We just crushed the Monster Smash recently. That's such a great freaking lineup.
I know.
Oh my God, the freaking Vitolas. I mean, I love the box. The box presentation is fantastic.
I tell you, so these are like little 4x46s. I think.
Yeah.
So last year in the Saints and Sinners Club, they had like a white label Tatuaje, and it was a 4x46. Oh my God, it's the best, one of the best Tatuajes ever. I was just smoking them. I really had to lay off of them and stop because I was running out. And in the Saints and Sinners Club, once they're out, they're done. Like you can't get that cigar again. So I'm cleaning out Jessica's humidor last week and replacing the humidification packs and kind of straightening up a little bit. We'll get back to the Amazon thing. So I found on the top shelf her Saints and Sinners shipment from last year. She's hiding it in her humidor.
Ooh,
So it had a full box of those. So she hasn't noticed yet. I pulled them out and put them in the walk-in. Because here's the thing. I pay for the Saints and Sinners each year, even though it's hers. Her shit comes to her name. She gets the shirt. She steals my hoodie. So she has two hoodies. And so yeah, it was so I took them until she noticed. And then she got all mad because I took her Andalusian bull, because it was actually too close to a boveda, and it actually had a very light dusting of we're going to call it plume because I'm a germaphobe. A very light dusting of plume that I had
whatever you want to call it, Kevin.
Yeah, to wipe off. And then I posted it, and she's like, that was my Andalusian bull. I go, give it another month, it'd have been ruined, and then nobody could have enjoyed it. They go, not my fault you're not taking care of your cigars. So
I told you there's a that's known as the dad tax. You do some work like that, you make things all better, and save the other cigars. It's a sensible tax.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I said dad tax. She goes, you're not my dad. It's not. I go, no, that a dad tax it doesn't make a difference. I mean, that's a dad tax is a household tax, because that's the way it works. I go, well, you wouldn't know, you're not a dad. So dad tax means on everything. I'm like if I go over to my buddy Brian's house and he's got some candy and I just take a big old handful, I can say dad tax, and then he'll understand. Like, nah, got me on there, Kev.
Right.
So yeah,
you don't necessarily have to be the child of the dad tax. It is a dad tax.
That's it. So on the Amazon thing, the reason why you get the wrong box sometimes, or a box that's grossly oversized, because as the products are coming down like this little line, you get these products and you have to box them up. Your computer, and you have to package so many things an hour. And that's why they pee in bottles, and then we're going to go to the bathroom, because it's a quota, and you get fired if you don't hit your quota. So it tells you the package that you're to put that item in. And if it's wrong, you have to stop what you're doing. You have to hit a couple buttons and tell somebody, hey, this package is wrong. You need to recalculate so someone else will pull the package, find the appropriate, or pull the item, find the appropriate package, and then re-update the system. But if you do that too many times, you slow down and you don't get you get dinged. So the people that are working there, they don't care. Just put it in the package. This is what the package says. This is the package I put it in, and then ship it out, because they get dinged. So not that, Amazon will be like, hey, thanks for saving us money, because like a box like this, even though it only had a 3-ounce item in it, this still, even with an Amazon discount, this was probably still, I'm going to guess like $387, maybe $390 to ship. If they put it in which every now and then I'll get a return, and it's in a bubble mailer, which is probably like $250. So they'll save a couple dollars on this package. But the person doesn't care, because they get dinged instead of being rewarded. Hey, you saved us so much money this quarter. Hey, here's a little bonus. Thanks for doing your job right. No, it's hey, you slowed down too many times. Here's a write-up. So that's what that's all about.
Tough crowd, man.
Fucking A, right.
Tough crowd.
So
what
yes,
else has been going on? I mean, it sounds like you got a lot going on there, Kev.
I got a lot going on. Just been working, just this insane schedule, 6 days a week since the beginning. I got a 4-day weekend this weekend, because I couldn't do it anymore. I'm like, I'm so far behind on my business. Like Saturday night, everybody called in. It was just me working. The one kid shows up to work in full uniform to tell us his back hurts and he's going to take a sick day. You could have done that from home. Whatever. The new kid, his tummy hurts. So he didn't come in, and I was going to have a conversation with him. What's going on? And like, in this industry, we work when we're hurt, we work when we're injured, we work when we're sick. That's just the way it is. If you can't handle this kind of business, like look, but they won't. I'm not allowed to say that to them. I'm not allowed to say you have to work when you're hurt, work when you're sick, but whatever. So worked all day by myself at a busy shop. So by the time I got out of there at like 5:30, got home, showered, had something to eat. Luckily, Jessica had dinner waiting for me. Had a cocktail. Plopped down in my office chair to start doing some business work. It's 8 o'clock. I'm like, fuck this. 7:30, something like that. Sunday, same thing. By the time we close an hour early, so at least it was it was like 7 o'clock, and it's just like brutal.
That's a long day, bro.
It is, and it's just these. I scramble every night to get some work done, and then I only get one day off, and this weekend I got 4 days off, and every day is packed. I'm changing out all the lighting here in the lounge because I hate the lighting. I got a guy hopefully coming by to shorten my bar because it's too big. So he's going to cut it in half.
What kind of lighting you going with? A little bit whiter and less yellow?
Well, that's actually white. It's my camera that's turning it yellow. Because I got the temperature turned up on that. So let me see if I can even if I turn it.
Yeah,
there's
white.
They're super white.
Yeah.
So no, the overhead lights are they're causing a lot of lens flare. So I'm gonna go with regressed. They're like an inch up into the ceiling, and they're it's called warm to dim or dim to warm. So as I dim them, they actually turn like a more of a yellow or an orange if I'm looking for that kind of look. But even they're regressed up in the ceiling, so at least I won't spread out. And
it's funny right now, since you turned that white light on in the background, your background looks like it's blue, like it looks like it's green screen. Like you still look a little yellowy orange, and your background is all lit up. So now it looks like a green screen.
Yeah, I see what you mean now. So
you turn it on. I was like, hey, that's really bright. You haven't changed colors. I mean, you start moving. I was like, God dang, Kev, you look like you're on green screen.
Yeah, that's the Florida tan. That's what we look like down. That's what we look like down here.
That's all the work you're doing.
Yeah, so at least these lights are still good because almost all the lights in our master bedroom have burned out. Yeah, LED lights. They're supposed to last like 15 years. Yeah, they lasted like 5. So I've got six ceiling lights that have burned out.
Really?
So yeah. So luckily I can just pull these down and put them all in there and swap them out. So it's not a big deal.
Goodness gracious.
So yeah, so and then the lounge it's a disaster area in here. There's like nowhere to sit, nowhere to stand. All in front of me is everything from PCA. All of my camera gear is still sitting out from PCA. All of my microphones. I haven't put anything away. I've had no time off. So, so yeah, it's just these kids. I hired another kid, so hopefully he works out. He seems like he's a go-getter, so we'll see.
They seem to get kind of hit or miss with the guys, and who are coming through there with the work. Which is unfortunate.
It is, but that's the kids. Nobody wants to be a mechanic, or people want to be a mechanic, but they don't want to start off at the bottom. Like the new kid came in today, and and within 3 hours he's drenched. His socks were probably soaked. Like his shirt, 100%. He's a bigger kid too. He's probably only 5'10", probably goes, easily 225, 230. He's a big kid. And he was drenched, like dripping. Like it was almost he was leaving tracks as he was walking. That's how much he was sweating. So that usually doesn't last very long. The kids are like, this job sucks, but I tell them all that during the interview. I go, this is a horrible job. I go, it's not fun. You're going to be the grunt. You're doing all of the work for at least 6 months, 9 months. And all you're going to do is change oil, clean the shop, and do flat repairs. I go, but if you can stick it out, I said, we'll make you a mechanic and you don't have to go to school for it. So very, very few of them stick it out.
Wow.
So
listen, man, it's not for the faint of heart. Like you said, if you're going to be taking off with the tummy aches and, this, that, the other thing, I mean, you maybe look for a different profession,
Yeah, that's it, and, I have a tree service. I can get none of these young kids. Yeah, a tree service. Anything it got outside. Can you imagine? My dad runs my dad's friend runs a construction business, and he always says he goes, I can't find anybody. He goes, if you know what a shovel is, I'll pay you $20 an hour. If you know how to use it, I'll pay you 25.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't find help. Can't find help.
That's terrible. And my buddy's going through the same thing up in Pennsylvania, concrete business. It's like you can't. It's tough to find anybody. You know, but you have there's all these different jobs that they keep saying are out there. But I'm like, it's
Yeah.
I think some of the jobs that are out there too are also being inflated by companies. Or they're old jobs that they're keeping posted, but they're not hiring them. They're just keeping them out there. But it is interesting when you say that about that, because my buddy and I had the same conversation a little while ago.
Yeah, it's a blue collar, man. Kids don't want to do blue collar. Kids want to program. They're coders and they want to be influencers, and they don't really want to work. Even the ones that say they want to work on cars, like this new kid, he tunes on, or like the one that we just hired hadn't started yet. He tunes on his own car and everything else, and then that's a drastically different world from when but the only good thing is he has been blue collar. He had to move back down here because his mom's going through some health issues. So he was working up at one of the colleges in Tampa, and he was a trash collector. He was a garbage man. I go, ain't nothing wrong with being a garbage man. My friends are garbage men. They make good money.
Yeah.
It's good, honorable work. So I'm like, so at least he knows blue collar. So, and he knows how to sweat. If you're a garbage man in Florida in the summertime,
I can imagine.
so absolutely horrible.
I cannot imagine. That freaking garbage gotta be fucking. I'll tell you what, I worked down one summer. I lived down at the beach. It was between my senior year, and I'm like, everyone lives here at the beach to do this, and I never did that. I always freaking stayed. I worked, and worked out for for football. This is finally I'm done with football. I'm going back to school for one more semester. I'm going to live at the beach this summer. My buddy owns a beach service. I'm going to freaking sit on the beach. I'm going to rent out beach chairs and umbrellas and freaking sell hot dogs and Gatorades. And at night, I'm just going to drink. And the first month and a half before the season hits, I worked for another guy down there I met, just doing odds and end work, and this guy was fucking great, Kevin. This is hilarious. He'd walk in there, he'd go, "How much you want to drop this tree?" And I goes, "I'll do it for $1,000. And they're like, "Okay." So we'll go there, we'll start we're working on it, and he'll give me like freaking $300 for the day. We'll start working on it, we'll get it down, and then he's like, "Let's go grab some beer." And we'll go grab some beer. We'll sit there and he'll be like, "Hold on. Hey," and he'll talk to someone and be like, "Hey, do you want to go knock down the rest of this tree for $500? And we'll walk away. And he's like, "Hey man, we made $600. So he would lazily subcontract people out after taking on a job. But then we used to clean off the beach, and we'd go to the dump. And I got to tell you something. Down in Delaware, the Delaware beaches, it's summertime. Going to the landfill, I was vomiting. I have never smelled anything so vile and disgusting in my entire existence. And it was like miles and miles of trash, and we could pull it up, and it was the worst smelling thing I've ever. So I can't imagine being on the back of a garbage truck in Florida.
My buddy Mark used to be a trash man here in town, and if you pissed them off, I think I've said it before, they had the little cap on the side for all the garbage juice. So when they get out to before they go to dump it, they take the uncap the water, and it goes in like these big ponds, I guess, settling ponds, and it's just the garbage juice. Yeah, and it's the most foul smell. So if you piss him off on your route, yell at him or do anything, they'll uncap that on your lawn, and let out 100 gallons of garbage juice. And he goes, it could be months before that. So, and you could call the city. There's nothing they can do about it. They'll just say like, "Hey, sorry, one of the trucks must have been leaking a little bit. It'll eventually go away." And so you will come out of your house every day for months, and that's what hits you in the face is hot garbage water. And,
Oh my God.
so yeah,
that's terrible.
so you never piss off your garbage guy,
No.
you know, and in the cigar smoking arborist, like I said, I've always had tree work done around, every time I needed tree work, I just wait till someone else in the area has always had tree work. Because of the hurricanes, we had to take down all 3 of our big trees.
Mhm.
We don't have any trees left, but we always need to be trimmed or something else. And I'd always wait because we have really nice neighborhoods. So someone's always at least once a month getting their trees trimmed.
Yeah.
So I would just walk over there. I'm like, hey, since you guys are here, can you what do you guys trim this up real quick? And they're like, I don't know, like $200, whatever. And I'm like, deal, come do it. Like, they're charging this guy like $1,000 to do the same thing they're doing for me. Like, we're here. Same thing when I needed to have the stump ground. And I waited until one of my neighbors was having some trees done. And then and then I saw a stump grinder one day and I'm just hustling over there. I go, hey, I got this stump. Can you come take a look at it? And he comes over and he was like, yeah, we do. Like, we're just right here. I'll do it after this one. It's a small stump. $150. I'll get the guys with the Bobcat come over and we'll haul it away. Now I've had quotes and it was like $500-600 per stump. So all the guys came over, knocked it out real quick, and gave each of the guy or gave the main guy $100, and there's $25 a piece. I go, hey, go buy your guys some lunch. So it cost me like $250.
Yeah.
And save. Yeah, I just wait. Oh, see here they come out of the woodwork. We were rolling to a neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm not like I said, my neighbor, I'm not the only one. It's like, which dad is going to come first? Because if they got a busy day, they might be able to squeeze one extra job in if it's a small job, but if they got to get on, but yeah, you just get over there real quick and, all the dads are like, tree guys here. And then, which, like everybody's be like, son of a bitch, like I'm paying. I'm like, if I was the homeowner, I'd be like, everybody, y'all get the fuck out of here or you're pay me some money. Because they're here doing my job, charging full price.
Oh yeah, we had somebody in here. I had somebody come out and give us an estimate on topping a tree or removing it. It was like $2,000. I mean, it's pretty expensive, $1,500.
Yeah.
Then there was a company in that was doing some work and they were driving up through and he goes like, hey, how much to remove the tree? And he's like, it went down to $800. For these guys, I didn't get it done, but I was kind of hoping for that $500 magic number.
Yeah.
Because when I did lawn service, the guy didn't care, but we used to go out and we would go do jobs, and we'd be in the middle of a job, and like you said, the neighbor would come over and be like, "Hey, can you guys like just top this tree or trim it off?" And we were like, "Yeah, it's $100." And we were already there, so he give us $100, and then Corey would be like, "Let's go have lunch." It's $100.
Yeah.
Because we were already over there doing a job, so bing bang boom, and we'd go back and he's like, "Hey Dennis, we did a this and that, while we were over there, and we got lunch and we got a case of beer. Did you bring it back? Yeah, okay, then fine." He didn't give a shit.
Yeah. My buddy that owns a lawn care business, that's what he tells his guys. Hey, if it's something small, like someone, hey, edge real quick, or just can you give a quick weed eat, and you charge them like $20 or something. He goes, just keep it. It's like if it's not going to take you, as long as you get all your jobs done in that day on the houses you're supposed to visit, if you make a little bit of extra money, just fucking keep it. Like buy some lunch, buy some beers, and and that's good. Maybe they'll call us, next time for a bigger job or something like that. So,
100%, man. I used to love it. Man. It was I'll tell you what I do miss. I do miss the manual labor. I love doing lawn service. It was a kick-ass day, man. But Jesus, from morning until because it's you got to maximize every minute of every daylight, every minute of daylight in a day. So as soon as that freaking sun's peaking up, you're working. And there was times we used to actually do lawn service. One day a week we would mow lawns. We broke off into 2 teams. And he had a lot of lawns to do in this Hershey, Palmyra area. And I know there was times we were mowing the lawn where it's just like, I may need a flashlight, bro. Like we were getting that last lawn in. But you got, when you're talking about getting back then, anywhere between $30 and $50 a lawn, and you crank out freaking as many as we were cranking out. That's a good day.
Yeah, one of my favorite jobs I had, and it was backbreaking when I did drywall finishing. And luckily it's a trade that I loved learning because I still do it to this day. You know, little side jobs for friends. If I got to patch something here, I've done tons of work around the house. But there's just something like when you're doing, you know, when I'm working on a car, like when it leaves, like if a customer, if you spent $2,000 and you looked at the car or underneath the motor, like you wouldn't tell anything was different, you know, and even I couldn't tell that anything was different. Like you have new parts, maybe you have new spark plugs, but when you're doing like a lawn or tree, or when I was doing drywall finishing, you start with like a ragged mess. And when then you leave, you can sit back or stand there and just look at, admire your work. You know, I love just coming into a house and just drywall and nails and seams everywhere. And then we would leave and it would, you know, obviously didn't have, you know, any paint or any texture done yet, but to have everything seamless, everything looks good. And it was just, I mean, every time, I mean, thousands of homes that we did, and every home on the last day as we were sweeping up, cleaning up our area, making sure the house was good. And we would just stand back like, oh, this is a good job. You know, like we came in and, you know, this busted our ass or this, you know, this wasn't straight, but man, like we made everything look good. And that's just, I thought, you know,
lawns are like that too. Like when you got to trim bushes and stuff and they're all ragged and terrible.
They're even and beautiful. you edge the garden and everything is just
fresh mulch.
I know, you know, you know, yeah. And it's just, you know, that's just beautiful. I absolutely love, you know, love that.
It's a good feeling. I did lawn this weekend. I don't know if I told you this or not. This was pretty funny. So on Saturday, I was on a call with a friend. Jennifer goes, I'm going to mow the lawn. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I'm like, whatever. She comes in. She's like, I put gas in it and it's not starting. It was trying to turn over, then it stopped. I'm like, all right. So I walked out. I'm like, oh. And nothing, not even an attempt to turn over. After the third pull, I went, which gas tank did you use? She's like, oh, the dirty one, you know, because all the other ones have those fancy knobs that are just hard. This one didn't have a top on it. I go, yeah, it's water.
Yeah.
And again, that's my fault. I didn't have it marked. You know, it had gasoline in it. We got a bad rain and it got some water in it. Then I just filled it with water because I wanted to, you know, water down the gasoline and dump it. So I'm like, oh, fuck. So there I am tearing apart the freaking the to pull out the air where the air filter goes, and I'm in the carburetor. And thank God I did this because the carburetor had acorns all up in there and rock and mud. I'm like, so I cleaned that out, went underneath, freaking drained the carburetor. It didn't smell like gas at all. It was just fluid. You know, then I had regular gas in it, you know, real gas. And then I started smelling the gas. I was like, okay. So I tightened it back up. And after probably about good 20 pulls, it started back up again. But yeah, it was
nothing like, you know, turning a 2-minute job into like an hour, which is unbelievable. That's one thing I got to do this weekend is I'm cleaning my workshop out back, because it's a disaster now. Like every time I pull something out, I haven't been putting it back. And then if I go to do like a little 5-minute job, you know, like starting the mower, you know, I spend 15-20 minutes straightening up, and now it's getting longer and longer.
Yep.
And now if I want any big job in there, like it's an hour and a half. So I'm going to spend a couple hours cleaning my workshop, getting it straightened back up. And
I got to get mine straightened up too. Mine's a fucking hot mess right now. You know, it's batteries are dying. So then I got chargers here. I got weed whacker, and I'm like, you know, then the string comes out of the weed whacker. And like I said, then I got this, and I got, okay, well, this one drawer kind of fell. So that's got shit in it. And I guess I can't blame Jen because, you know, it's gas tanks are all, it's right there with it. But it was freaking hilarious. I was like,
if I ever had to start mowing my own grass, I would get battery powered. You know, there's no way I'd go back to, you know, just, you know, no, I mean, I always took care of my mowers. I always shut the fuel off, you know, and let it run until it died, you know, so there was nothing left in the carburetor. I always run non-ethanol rec fuel in there, and I put it away for the season. I'd clean the filter, sharpen the blade, or take the blade off to have it sharpened before the next season, and I'd put it away all nice. But every now and then, things are still being bitches, and they just don't want to start or something else. So
I love it though. I mean, I like doing my own lawn. I like, the time spent. I like you said, and I'm like you. I take care of stuff. So like when I have something, when you see someone like, oh yeah, I got another lawnmower. I'm like, I think in like my last 30 years, I've owned 3 lawnmowers.
Oh yeah, no, a lawnmower will last me. I mean, in my whole life, like 10 years.
And
Like
we had a push mower, an old green
Yeah.
push mower that my mom got me. That was like $15 on sale at Walmart, because we didn't have a very big lawn at first, right? When I first got
Yeah.
it, it was not a self-propelled, it was push mower. So I mean that thing lasted forever, and then the cord broke, and Joe was like, "Yes, we can get a new propelled lawnmower," because he didn't like pushing it. And I was like, "No, I could just tie a knot in that bitch."
Yeah.
It lasts another year. He was not happy about that at all. It finally ended up dying, but yeah, I mean, I've same thing with power tools. I still have like I've had my circular saw since I lived out that's been over 20 years of a Milwaukee circular saw. I have this a skill reciprocating saw.
Yeah.
I mean, all my power tools. And when I lived in Harrisburg, I used to use them a lot because I did all the remodeling in the homes. But I've had these things because, like you said, when I'm done with them, I just don't throw them back in the box or just kind of lay them on a shelf. I mean, I freaking take them, clean them out, freaking air it down, grease up the areas, make sure everything's working. And if you take care of this stuff, I mean, it will last you a very long time, but you have to take care of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I own power tools. I only buy DeWalt. I've got a skill saw. I've got various for my jigsaws, various brands.
Mhm.
For whatever whatever I needed at the time. It's usually always one of those is an emergency buy. So, but I never buy cheap because I only want to buy it one time. And
But if you
yeah,
buy, I mean, a decent model, like I have a skill jigsaw. I've had
yeah.
that thing probably close to 10 years.
Yeah, I have a skill circular saw, and my table saw is skill because I have a
Yeah.
small table saw. I didn't need I always wanted a bigger one. I get like a Bosch or something else, but yeah, nothing wrong with skill. And my bandsaw is skill. I got a little
Yeah.
mini bandsaw, which is skill.
I got a
Yeah.
Ryobi drill,
Yeah.
it's not, a battery operated. It's a freaking, real deal
Yep.
Holyfield drill. I've had that thing again. Probably had that close to 20 years, along with, I think I got that when I got my circular saw, the Milwaukee that I have. And,
My corded DeWalt is every bit of 20 years old,
yeah,
25 years old. Then all my other, I have the DeWalt ecosystem. Everybody's, so when you become a man, you got to choose. Are you going Milwaukee, Ryobi, DeWalt?
yeah,
You have to choose your ecosystem. And
yeah.
I chose DeWalt at the very beginning because I was buying it with my with reward points. And
We got
they
the
only
green. What's the green? That's Ryobi. I think we got the bright green.
I think that's Ryobi.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, they have the biggest ecosystem, for tools, but a lot of their tools are shit I don't need anyway. So, but yeah, it's you got to buy good, good stuff, and
You got a bag of Ryobi stuff. Like you said, there's like a couple of tools that I'm like, I'll never use that, but it's a good deal. But like, I got my weed whackers of Ryobi. I actually ended up buying an electric rototiller because I used to have a gas power, but I bought an electric rototiller because I'm rototilling my fucking yard. I'm not going to be freaking doing freaking massive tracts of land or anything. But that's it. That stuff, it's good stuff. But at the end of the day, if you don't take care of it, I don't care what brand it is, it's not going to last you long.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't, people are like, oh, and I have nothing wrong with Harbor Freight on most of their stuff or some of their stuff. But like if you need something reliable and you're going to use it often, Harbor Freight is not the place to go
No.
tools. You know, it's
No.
just if it's one of them like one and done tools, like I'll go to Harbor Freight and get that tool. And if it works one more time 2 years from now that I need it, I'm like, oh, that's a plus. You know, now it just paid for itself. If it breaks after that, I'm like, well, fuck it. It paid for itself.
No.
So,
My brother-in-law, I remember he came over and he had the different um, the screw top bits, the different types of screw bits.
yeah.
I don't know what they call them. You know what I'm saying? No, it's the different freaking Phillips and straight, everything else. And I was using it, and I had I think at the time I had this is back. Everybody had like the 18 volt, and I had the 24 volt like Black and Decker, and
Yeah.
I was screwing deck screws. We were building my outside shed, and the freaking bit broke with inside the screw.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a shit product right there.
Oh yeah.
That's a shit product. I mean, when the fucking tip of the freaking Phillips head breaks off inside the screw when you're screwing it.
Yep.
You know, it's always the screw that if there's an issue, it'll end up stripping it. You don't like, holy hell, the freaking bit broke. What the hell's up with that?
Oh yeah.
Harbor Freight.
Yeah, that's it. I use a lot of Torx bits for like decking material and stuff like that. And they always come with brass bits because nothing sucks worse than stripping out a fucking deck screw. And if it's not all the way in, you're fucked trying to get that thing out, you know, with a pair of vice grips or anything else. So they come with these really nice brass ones, and the brass lets go before it'll damage the hex bit. But yeah, everything else I use like the DeWalt Shockwave or whatever. But yeah,
they're affordable too. I mean, you go down there, you get a little freaking box of them. It's they work just fine.
Yeah, there are times I only needed a couple of what's going on, bro? I've only needed like a couple of bits, you know, to replenish my, because everybody uses Phillips number 2. That's why when you get there, you know, there's like 4 number 2 Phillips in there and 1 of everything else. But sometimes I'm like, sometimes if they're on sale, it's cheaper to buy a whole nother kit.
Yeah,
than it is just buy a couple more. A couple more number 2 Phillips.
Oh my god, I got three because they get misplaced or whatever. So I got same thing, man. I got like a Black & Decker. I got Ryobi. I got Black & Decker. And then I opened up a freaking toolbox. I'm like, there's all my missing bits. So now I'm like, I got freaking a shit ton of freaking options here. Whenever
I know a shit ton of bits that I'll never use. You know, it's but yeah, it's like
the 6 freaking tape measures that I have, and the 5 different freaking Allen wrench kits that you get because someone always forgets to put that back, the one fucking universal Allen wrench. So it's like, I gotta do this. Well, son of a bitch, the one that's missing is the one that I need. Well, now what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go I go buy a single or buy a whole new kit.
I know, and then I got a whole drawer of Allen bits that you get with projects that I honestly, like this year I started throwing those Allen heads away, those Allen keys, the individuals, only because I know I got a drawer full of a random Allen kit because when you get from IKEA or whatever else you put together, and
extra screws too. I keep everything. It's like if you open up some of my drawers, it's like, dude, why do you have 5 drawers filled of Allen wrenches? I'm like, well, there's that time I bought this, there's that time I bought that, there's a time I bought this. I remember seeing a commercial about this as a little skit, but it happened to me. Nothing's better. I keep pieces of wood, those dad woods, the dad
yeah.
And it's like you wait for years, and when someone's like, hey, we could use this, you're like, I have the perfect piece of semicircular 1-inch plywood with a notch in it. I have buckets just filled with all different types of trim and strip and stuff like that, and different blocks of wood.
I just, when we built the new workshop, I got rid of all of my wood, all of it, hundreds of pounds, and I haven't needed it yet. But when you go out to my workshop, last time Jess goes out there, I've got some pretty good cutoffs of kiln dried Spanish cedar, and then I forget the name of the wood for the shells. Like, what are you going to do with that? And I go, I don't know, but I can't throw it away. I mean, it's like $1,000 worth of wood sitting there. I go, that cannot be thrown away. I mean, that full planks of kiln dried Spanish cedar.
Right.
I'm like, it's not going anywhere.
Well, that's a
You
big
know,
difference from my freaking,
Oh yeah.
3 hunks of 2x4s and
Oh yeah,
various
I do have 2x4s now. I threw away everything but my 2x4s. I have a little rack in my garage, with some J hooks, and I've got like 5 or 6,
Yeah.
5 or 6 full length 2x4s, and then maybe a dozen cutoffs. Because
Yeah, that's what I got in mine too. Right above my thing, I got 2 J hooks. I have them, and I got some quarter round and some baseboard strips. I got that up there too.
Because a 2x4, man, you ain't just 2x4 is a very versatile piece of wood.
My God,
so
it's for the like just the other day when we were I put the air conditioner in the lounge, and I was looking, I know why I keep that 2x4 that's this big, that's that big, because it goes right underneath the back of the air conditioning and keeps it level. Boop, perfect. Now, once I take the air conditioning out and it sits there, there's multiple times, Jen will be like, "Are you gonna throw this out?" I'm like, "No, I use that for something that I keep." Then somewhere along the lines, I'll forget, and then I'll remember when it starts getting hot. I'm like, "Oh shit, that's right. That goes to the back of the air conditioner."
Is 5 levels know where 0 are. I probably got 6 or 8 levels going from 1-inch levels all the way up to 3-foot levels. Actually, I found I was driving a test driving a customer's car, and I found an 8-foot level on the ground. So it must have come off of a contractor's truck. Ooh. And I pulled over in the median, the center median, in a customer's car. And so I get back from my test drive. I open up the back seat of this customer's car, and I pull out this 8-foot level. And we're like, "Where'd you get that?" I'm like, "Found it." Because these are all dads I work with. They're like, "Yeah, that's a score right there."
Man. Yeah,
An 8-foot level. I'm never going to need it, but I have one now.
Now you got one. You never know.
So that's it. So yeah, levels and tape measures. We have tape measures everywhere in the house. I got a little mini one clipped magnetic. My neighbor Peanut, who taught me a lot about my woodworking, he always carried a little 1-inch tape measure on his keychain. You never know. Yeah, I don't know how. I always thought it was dumb when I first met him. And I don't know how many times we were out somewhere, and he just be able to pull out his little tape measure. I'm like, it's genius. A genius old man move right there.
That is
always got a tape measure on you.
That is, like you said, when you see those tape measures on a keychain, you're like, that is so freaking stupid. With a little level on it too. What are you gonna do with that? Yeah. And then when you get older, you're like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, so it's funny. Make sure Jessica's not out here. So I had to have her. I called her or sent her a text today. I needed to have her measure something for me. And so she came back, it was like, and she gave me like, the measurement of whatever, like the exact measurement. I'm like, pretty sweet. She knew what the exact measurement was. So we share a Chat GPT because she doesn't want to pay for her own plan. So as I go to ask Chat GPT something, I see it always has our list of discussions, so we can go back into that discussion. And she asked ChatGPT. She uploaded a picture of the tape measure. She locked it where the measurement was, and she asked it what the measurement was, so she could tell me. Like she could have just sent me the picture and not, but I think she wanted to be proud that she told me what the exact measurement was.
Independent Jessica.
Yeah. So yeah. Get your own Chat GPT. So, but at least, I can, it was that funny. I don't know if I sent that in our bullies chat, the TikTok, and it was, the woman, it was, the girlfriend, whatever. Hey, let me see your, phone. I want to check all your messages. Guys like, there you go. Have at it. I want to check your, Snapchat. Yeah. Whatever. Here it is, and then whatever. And there's like, I want to check your Chat GPT history. And he's like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa. And then she's reading how to tell if my spouse is bipolar. It was and it was just one after another.
I remember that.
Like, I'm like, so many times I've wanted to ask Ash a question. It's like, I'll go ask Grok instead because we don't share Grok, so
Grok gets all the bad questions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, modern iPhone and LiDAR, you always have a measuring tool and level. I don't know if I trust them. I don't know. There's just something about pulling out a tape measure and just slapping it down and measuring something. Yeah. I don't know.
I've tried using a level on my phone, and as I was doing it, I hated myself every step of the way. because I'm like,
Yeah.
my dad would slap me. He'd be like, "Oh, that's pretty nice. Well, let's go use a real level, like a
Yeah.
real man would."
Yeah, I know. And then I remember years ago building a bookcase with my buddy who's a machinist, and we got to get it all squared up, and then to get it square, you measure from corner to corner, and then corner to corner, and then you adjust and everything else. So we're measuring it up, and I'm like, hey, I got this. He goes, we're still out. We're still out. So we're trying to measure it up, and finally I'm like, man, how far out are we? And he goes, we're probably 15 thou out. And I go, 15 thou. I go, if we're a 16th, we're good on this. There's like a million thou and a 60. I don't know, but I'm like a couple thousands out. Please stop this. But yeah, he was like, you're about 15 thou out. I'm like, yeah, that's like a human hair, bro. So yeah, God. And then you learn early on, if you're to use one tape measure for a job, you do not use multiple tape measures unless they're all the exact same. I found that out, what Peanut had, like doing some things like, man, measurements keep coming out, and then saw me using multiple tape measures. He's like, hey, let's pull this out. And they were like a 16th off each other.
Yep.
And it's like, there's your mistake right there. Not using the same tape measure for the
littlest thing. A little freaking clip can get a little loose, and you can definitely, like you said, you can lose.
Well, you want the clip loose. The problem is when it gets bound up.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't slide, all the way. And then I never, and then for small stuff, I never use the first inch anyways. I always go to like 3 or 4 inches down and then use that. But it's
good information. Good information by Kevin.
That's it. Use a one tape measure or multiple. Let's see. There's always one guy had a 12-foot tape measure hooked on his pocket. He had a shiny new one for church, and you don't know. When you need, like, that's why in my carry-all pouch I carry a flashlight, a little mini flashlight. You never know when you're going to need a little flashlight, and I have saved many a day. Like, I can't see. I got a flashlight. Always have a little stream.
Carry it on your person.
Yeah. I always have a little pocket flipper, like a little 3 or 4 inch knife. You never know. Gotta be prepared. So, but oh well. Speaking of knives and cutting, have you seen the shitstorm that I started on Facebook with cutting the tip off of that foundation cigar?
Yeah.
I think that's up to like 55,000 views on a picture I posted on
probably
Facebook.
About 54,999 angry people.
Oh yeah, there was. It was definitely, I would say 90-10. This is the 50th. I didn't even think this is the 50th episode of the Puff and Ponder. So it was.
Wow.
So right on. And actually, my dad made me doing a little woodworking. He made me a little wooden sign.
Oh, nice. Did he make one for me?
Puff and Ponder. I didn't even know he made this for me. Dropped it off
my
mailbox today.
What the hell, man.
I know. So,
he's got to learn the rules of Freever.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know how long it took him to make that. So, but yeah, it's I can't believe just the amount of people that just just do what you want, bro. It's blasphemy from the cigar maker. That's my cigar. At the end of the day, the same. These are the same people that will buy a vehicle and then put new rims on it. Like, it's not how the maker, not how the manufacturer designed that vehicle to run. So or they'll do anything. They'll put a phone case on their phone. Oh, that's not how the maker intended their phone to be operated with the case. So, but so it's the same people that will bitch. And then, and then say,
I waited. I said, look, you chopped. I mean, I know why you chopped it off. We talked about this before. That Perfecto tip. If you try and light that little itty bitty nipple, the burn just gets all jacked up. So if you just take a little bit off the tip, you can actually get a better burn, a more controlled burn.
Now I did take a little bit more than I normally did.
You got a little jerk in your arm when you cut that. So I just said, "Hey, that's like $1.25 there. You just cut
Yeah.
off, and
So
put that in your pipe and smoke it because that's a smokable amount of tobacco that you cut off there."
I knew I was going to make that post, so I cut off a little bit more than I normally would, just to see if I could stir up some shit.
Oh, you
and,
did.
And I definitely stirred up some shit. But yeah, if I got time and I'm relaxing, I will leave the tip on a Hemingway tip or, you know, a Solomon or anything like that, because I can work it. I can get it stoked. But at that point, you know, it was after a long day. I just wanted a fucking cigar. I really wanted that cigar, and I just didn't want to fuck with it.
I'll tell you, man, even when I got time, I will always cut a little bit off that tip just because I just feel I get a better burn and a better experience. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, because I've done the whole very carefully freaking lighting, and I've gotten it pretty good, but at some point, you know, it's always going to look like a freaking comet the way that it's the burn until it finally corrects itself.
Yeah, you know, and people say, you know, people are saying, you know, oh, you know, the manufacturer wanted you to taste this or that. No, that's not the point of a Hemingway tip. So the story goes, which you know, several manufacturers have said that's true, is it was to light it like on a boat or out when it's windy. You are able to light that tiny little nub, and then it stokes that flame, and then it propagates and it lights the rest of the cigar properly. So you don't have to light a giant area in windy conditions. So that's, you know, I think that's why they call it a Hemingway tip. I don't know if he invented it or whatnot, but that's the point of the tip, not to experience anything more. Now it's just, that's just how, a Perfecto, Hemingway tip, a Solomon, that's just how they're made. Now it's just become just the way to do that, so it's not for taste or anything else. It's just tradition now.
No, it's not for taste. What are you going to load the front up with? Freaking chocolate?
Yeah, exactly. You're just buying your time, and it's easily 10 to 15 minutes of babying that cigar and getting it going. And I just didn't have it that night. It's like, I'm not doing this.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Yeah, that's it. I ain't got time to bleed.
Nope. No, that was a funny post though. That did crack me up because when I saw it sitting there and just the way it was just laid out, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm up to like
a lot of people.
Yeah, Facebook paid me like so far like $2.50 for that post.
Really?
It's got so much engagement.
You are making out like a freaking
no, because last time they my account was up to like $200, and then I posted that stupid meme that I found on Facebook. So they kind of put me on restriction for a month, and they took everything out of my account, all the money, all the $200. Oh, you're on restriction. We're going to take this money back from you. So for all the thousands of posts I made that didn't violate community guidelines, and that's how I got that money. I violated a community guidelines, and they wiped my account down to 0. So that should be illegal.
Yeah.
But what am I going to do? Who am I going to fight on that?
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But whatever. So, and speaking of I don't know if that video ever came through in our chat. The guy in Georgia that's been going around on social media weighing everything at the grocery stores. Have you been following this guy?
No, it showed. I think that was the one. Wait, hold on for a second here. Is that the one that showed the access denied?
Yeah, it was. I don't know why a lot of TikToks now it's being access denied for. For that. But yeah, he's going into Walmart, Aldi, these grocery stores. The local news picks it up. They're going into the stores like he's, Walmart's a big offender, and you've been hearing about this for probably the last couple of years, but this guy's really making the rounds. He'll go weigh like a piece of meat, and it says this is like 5.1 pounds, and he takes it. He brings a scale with him, 3 pounds. I mean, grossly off. There's some things like powdered sugar and other things that are like an ounce off, couple ounce. Yeah, I'll give it that. It should be what it is, but an ounce, whatever. But when you have meats that are being sold to you by the pound and it's 2 pounds off, 3 pounds off, that's absolutely insane.
I'm gonna tell Jen to bring the digital scale next time she goes to the store.
Oh yeah, yeah, without a doubt. That's what I really want to start doing. That is just bring, when I buy meats, I want to bring a fucking scale, or take it up front. You could put it on the, I guess the if you're doing self checkout, the
Yeah.
scale that you use for produce. But yeah, it's and Walmart saying that they visited several stores and they didn't find any discrepancies and everything else. And like this newscaster, like he went to the stores with this guy, and then he went by himself to all these other stores and found the same thing. Lot of and then other people are now posting the videos as well. And man, it's becoming a fucking shitstorm.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's being openly deceitful. That's terrible.
That's fraud.
Yeah, it's horrible. I mean, especially if you're charging that much, that's goddamn TikTok.
I know. And then the other one I saw was you see the roller coaster that got trapped like at the top, and the people were all laying backwards, and they were up top for like a couple of hours, and luckily they were leaning back, so it was like right before it crested the little hill, and that's where it stopped.
Right.
That's not so bad. I've seen the ones where people have crested the top and it stopped and they're all facing down.
Yeah.
That I couldn't handle that. And then getting out of that. So these people, they showed they had to get the fire truck with the big ladder and get all the way up there. And these and I don't blame these women for freaking out, because these firefighters have to unlock that harness that you're safe. You can't fall.
Yeah.
Because you're inside there. They have to unlock it. They're like clipping these people in, like, okay, now you're attached to me, but still the same thing. So we're both falling.
Yeah.
If something happens,
fucking gravity start to play on you.
And then you got to get, climb down a 300-foot fucking ladder. But so these women are crying, they're freaking out, and I don't blame them at all. I'd be freaking out. One woman suing the firefighter for inappropriately touching her during that rescue. And then I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you grab like these women that were in these chairs that were freaking out, and not inappropriately touch. You're
gonna grab some parts there that probably would not be a normal part that you would grab on a perfect stranger, but in those circumstances, that's someone who's just trying to take advantage of the situation. You didn't die; they saved your life. It wasn't like he was up there going, "Oh, I can't wait to feel her up."
Yeah, exactly. And these firefighters all wore body cams, which I didn't know firefighters. They must wear body cams out there, because that was the view you're getting. So they obviously didn't show the body cam footage from that one, but I would like to see the body cam footage from that one. I mean, did he just go in and be like, let me pull you out by your boobs? Probably not. So
oh my
but yeah,
God.
and luckily here in Florida, we have protect our first responders against nonsense like that. Like, you can't sue a firefighter for protecting.
Where did this happen?
Jen says Texas.
Oh,
so but yeah, absolute nonsense of suing. I hope it goes to trial, and I hope her name gets out and she just gets blasted. I hope she gets fired from her job. I hope her friends befriend her or unfriend her.
Did you see all those people who got fired after Charlie Kirk got murdered? Who got fired? There's a whole bunch of people that sued, and they're settling. They're getting money.
Yeah, some of them are getting $1 million plus. Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of $500,000.
Yeah, 500,000, 200,000, 150 grand.
Yeah, I don't know what state, like state laws. I mean, and luckily in Florida, we're a right to work state. So we can fire you for that, and then you really can't come after an employer in Florida. They can just say,
they're going through the whole "it's my freedom of speech," ACL, and it's like, listen, I mean, I get it, I agree. Freedom of speech isn't always, it's not protecting the speech that you like; it's protecting the speech that you don't like. I mean, but again, like you said, if you are an employer and you don't like what someone's saying, I guess you can do that. But hey, they took them to court and.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know, it's I don't know how I feel on that. I do. You do have a freedom of speech, but in a state like Florida, where it's also a right to work state, your freedom of speech can get you fired, but yeah, some of them were just sharing memes. Some of them were like backhanded remarks, and it's just like some of them I'm like, that's kind of, that's kind of pushing it. But some of the ones that were like, you got what you deserved, and then praising, I'm like, now that like steps like that's just, but at the end of the day, that's still freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech, yeah. I think
But,
it's I mean, I always believe that we need to preserve the right to freedom of speech, even when people say stupid shit or
yeah,
inappropriate shit or mean shit or hurtful shit. I mean, I think there were some people who really pushed the limits as medical professionals on
that
how not to treat someone or how, like, I think when you start making it about how you would handle something within your profession, I think that goes beyond free speech, because now you're starting to you get into going, okay, well, you're a conservative in a liberal state, and if you get injured, if someone finds out, like, how you know you're not going to get one of those people that are like, well, all you got to do is just, inject some of this into their IV, or, not do this or do that. That gets a little scary. And the people who actually come out and talk about doing that stuff, I think, that is just a violation of their commitment, of their profession.
agreed.
Yes, that's
But
true.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
he's absolutely right.
yeah. We just had that nurse, Governor DeSantis, that took away her, or his, license to practice, and it was one of those things. If you're if you're MAGA and you come in and like I'm not trading you, and it was like one of those things, like and
Yeah.
it was just like, yeah, you don't get to say that, you don't get to do that, that has consequences.
Well,
You know,
yeah. I mean,
you're,
it's like Mike said. I mean, yeah, there's speech that, freedom of speech that you definitely are going to have responsibility and consequences. And that's why whenever again, whether do you remember back in the day when the Dixie Chicks came out and said, F George Bush, and
yeah,
their country career went down the tubes and everyone's mad about it? I'm like, well, they have the freedom of speech to say that and wear those shirts, but you're also saying it to a lot of people who buy your records, and now they're basically going to boycott you. I mean, and it's the same thing whenever you have some of these folks who are very right wing conservative that come out. It's gonna impact your business. It just is, because you're gonna have people who are not going to buy because they don't believe your political stance, or they're not going to watch your movies. They're not going to do this because of your political or religious stance, or whatever the case it may be. And I think that's the risk that you run when you're in the entertainment business. And there's been a lot of folks along the way, even Elvis. I remember him saying, this is politics. I don't get into politics. I'm a singer.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I forget which one comedian, just and they're trying to pigeonhole him into picking a side, and this was just a couple months ago, and he said the same thing. He goes, I'm not a politician. He goes, you don't turn the TV on, or you don't go watch one of my movies to hear what I think about politics. It's like I'm
No.
just an entertainer.
I go to a concert, I want to hear music of the band that I like. I don't want you changing the words of your song. I don't want to hear some lecture. I don't want to hear, unless you're going to go and you're going to perform at a rally, then fine. Then the people who want to be at that rally, that's fine. But if I'm just going to a regular good old concert, I just want to hear music. I don't want to hear any political BS. I just don't.
That's it. Look at Martina McBride, opting out of the America 250, and she's facing financial consequences now for, they're pulling, I forget who, it's not a podcast, it's like a streaming service though. They're now pulling, pulling her funding or pulling her contract or something. And, just like, it is what it is, consequences. Speaking of concerts, Al, or
Yeah,
Al,
the Weird Al Yankovic. How was it?
it was good. I would like to have seen Al in his heyday. The opener, which Puddle's Pity Party, Jessica absolutely loved. I'm like, whatever. Sad clown singing. Had a hell of a voice, but I don't know.
So you said Weird Al was entertaining, but he was a little past over the hill, a little past the prime.
A little bit, it was nice because he did come down, and because we were like a floor level, like really up close. So he did come down to our row, and like he was singing to like a woman that was like 2 chairs down from us, so it was cool. So I got to see him up close. I could have reached out and touched him if I wanted. The 70-year-old security guy behind him probably wasn't going to do anything to me, but he had a hell of a voice. He did, it's like, when you go see a concert, you don't want to hear new stuff. Listen, play Freebird or get the hell out of here. It's right. So, there was a lot of new stuff and it's just like, and it's like from some cartoons that he did and some other stuff that I didn't know of or wasn't aware of. And they were still funny, but then a lot of like the classic songs he did, they were like, so he would take like 8 songs and then he would do like 30 seconds, 45 seconds with one.
Yeah.
And
do a medley.
And then do a medley. And it's just like, kind of, whatever. But then like he did do some, like he did Word Crimes, which was really good, a really good song. But at least he did all of Fat, which was great. I love it. And he did the entirety of Amish Paradise.
Oh,
so which is
great.
Which is absolutely great. I loved it. Knew every single word to that song.
Oh my God.
Just absolutely. So that was super fucking cool to hear Amish Paradise live. Weird Al Yankovic up on stage
with his long beard. Was he dressed up with his long beard?
Yeah. So in between each song or series, like that, luckily they had like a jumbotron and it was playing other stuff. Like they played like 5 minutes of his of the movie, the biopic, which was great.
Oh, yeah. It's a great movie.
and then they did other things where he's done cartoon versions of himself. So there was always something going on in between, like the costume changes.
Yeah.
And things like that to keep you, entertained and watching. And then he'd come out dressed as, he had his fat suit on and Amish Paradise and White and Nerdy and, all of that. So super, super cool. But yeah, when everything lit up and he's just standing there with his head down, like in the video and, and then as soon as the lights came on and everybody saw him standing there, the place fucking erupted. Because we knew what was going to be playing. Yeah, and it was great. So cool to see the crowd. It was a small crowd, I'll be honest. I mean, you see old concert where he's selling out, 40, 50, 60,000 plus stadiums. And this was a small Hertz arena. And there was probably maybe 12,000 people there, so it was a pretty small crowd, but it just those are
the best to go to. I mean, we go down to Bilo and we saw Weezer at Bilo and Flaming Lips. They were fucking great. And I think that holds 15,000 people.
Yeah, it was so it was good, but the kids as young as, we saw like maybe 8, 10, 12, obviously they're with their parents, but then we saw people in their 60s, and then a lot of like millennials. So like the generation before me, a lot of like kids that were in their probably early to late 20s. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was cool because that made me feel good. It's like, because nobody does it like Weird Al. There's been parody songs since the beginning of time, but there's never been a parody artist like him. And there never will be again. Like nobody has stepped up and made their career of that. So I love that his legacy, because he can't do this for, he'd probably do it for another 5 years or so. I mean, he's getting on like 65, 66 or something. So there's a whole generation out there that loves his music and it's going to survive for a long time, which I absolutely loved.
Yeah. Back in the day, I remember the 70s, there was a couple of parody songs and some guys who made funny songs here and there. I remember, back in the 70s when I ran, the guys did the Jan and Dean, Bob Iran. They did the song Bomb Iran. Yeah. And then it, like you said, you'd have a song here and there as a parody. And he came out. He's been around for a while.
Yeah.
And he just came out on that one CTTV or where he
there's a Dr. Demento's radio show. Yeah.
Yeah. He just freaking had a drum and he like played 3 different instruments.
His first one, another one rides the bus.
Another one rides the bus. Yeah.
Another one rides the bus. And that was just,
he's been around for a while. I love his stories on when he asks the different celebrities about doing their music and doing their songs.
Yeah, there were so many people that because he's done I forget, I don't know if it was Green Day that he did, and they asked about Green, and he goes that, and Green Day was huge at that time. And I forget, I don't know who the name of the people are, but they asked one of the people, he goes, that's how we knew we made it. When Weird Al parodied one of our songs, like, we knew we made it. And like, you're selling, your platinum albums and, selling out stadiums across the world, and you knew you made it when Weird Al parodied one of your songs.
I think he said that he talked to Kurt Cobain when he was right before they played on Saturday Night Live, and of course Kurt Cobain was scoring heroin. He got permission from Kurt Cobain. He's probably freaking all gooned up on heroin when he got it. He said something like, what are you gonna do? He goes, I'm just gonna kind of make fun of the fact that I can't understand a word that you're saying.
Yeah.
In the song, it smells like Teen Spirit. It smells like.
Oh yeah. He did that one on. Yeah, he did that one on stage as well, and dressed as Kurt Cobain. But yeah, it was it was a blast. And like I said, Coolio was the only one. Amish Paradise, the only one that refused. He
said yes at first, and then he freaking turned into an ass and got mad about it.
But at the end of the day, he doesn't have to ask for anybody's permission, to do the song. I mean, it's a parody. He can do it. With what, so it doesn't make any difference.
That is such a great tune, Amish Paradise.
I
think that's one of my favorites that he's done.
Yeah, and it was fun because Jessica knows of Weird Al. She's heard some of his songs, but she wasn't like real thrilled at going. But there was a couple times I looked over and she had like the biggest smile on her face, and she was laughing, and she was getting some of the words. Cause sometimes they're showing a video up on the screen, and like it had some of the words, so she was kind of singing along, and that that was super cool that I got to share my love of Weird Al with her. So that was that was awesome. But we got into a little bit of not an art, a discussion the night before, because on the website they say it was going to be like a no phone zone, so you're gonna have to lock your phones in the bags. Now you've been to concerts like that, and so ended up not being the case. Like I said, so she's able to film and take pictures, and it wasn't a big deal. So the website was just wrong about that. Maybe other venues, that it's that way. If he's doing,
a lot of comedians do that because they don't want their material being like when we went to see Bill Burr. It was lock your phone.
Yeah.
So it was they do a lot of that. Because of it. Especially comedians, because when you start getting into watching even a lot of clips on YouTube and stuff, they talk about how so many of these guys just steal jokes and how they steal someone's act, or they maybe go into a comedy club and see somebody who's an up and comer but really funny and steal some of their material, and then they'll be like 5 or 10 years later, they're like, such and such was doing that at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah, and I've heard Joe Rogan say it hundreds of times. Like back in the day when they were on the circuit or trying something out at the Laugh Factory or the Comedy Store, like they would say, "Hey, so and so's here. Don't do it. Don't do your best work." Like Carlos Mencia was known for stealing.
He got a lot of shit.
Yeah. So there are a lot of other comedians like that. It's like you didn't try out a new bit. When that person was in there, like, oh, you save that one for another time. Yeah. But we got into it because she was like mad that she would not have access to her phone, and then it was, I'm like, hey, it's not really a big deal. Well, we get the kids are home alone. They're old. They're not kids anymore. I mean, yeah, they're special needs, but they're still adults. We're only gonna be gone for a couple of hours, but it's like, well, what if something happens? And then I'm like, well, we've been on a plane many times, where we don't have reception. And what if something happens? They can't get a hold of you then. Well, if I have like Wi-Fi, well, then they have to send you an email. So you don't have the issue then. But I go, it's the fact that and other people said the same thing online for various concerts. I hate not being able to in case of an emergency. And I try to say it's because someone's telling you can't have this device. That's it. They're keeping it away from you, so you can't take pictures. You can't make phone calls, whatever. You have to enjoy the concert. And it's mainly about, taking video and posting it online or live streaming, but it's also, I think, about enjoying where you're at and
Right.
not having your phone. And I'm like, that's the biggest pitch people have, is because they just don't have access to it. It's still on you. It's still on you. If there's an emergency, she goes, well, what if someone comes up and there's an emergency, like they start, blasting the place up, or there's a fire, or
Trust
like
me, those bags are not freaking, if you want to get in, you get in.
Yeah. Okay. I've never seen one. So I've
Yeah.
seen them, but I've never had one. So
Yeah.
I don't know,
It's, I mean, it's one of those things where if you fuck with it and you're leaving, you're going to get dinged. But if there was an emergency that occurred, you're not going to not be able to get to your bag.
yeah. Okay.
I mean, to your phone. It's not like
Yeah.
this double Duralock, freaking, padlock.
Kevlar.
Yeah, no, it's nothing like that. I mean, it's secure, and you're not going to be able to get to it, And again, like I said, if at the end of the show, if you give it to them and they can see that you fiddle with it in order to get your phone out, you're going to get dinged. You're going to be in trouble. But in the case of emergency, your phone could get right out of there real quick.
Okay. So, but yeah, that was the biggest thing. It was just like, when people tell you, you can't be on your phone. So for some reason, that irritates people to no end. I'm like, oh, I can't be on my phone. Yeah. I mean, I'm addicted to my phone like the next person, but it's like, whatever. Who cares?
It's because someone's telling you can't. When you get on a plane, it's your choice. But now you're paying money and someone's saying no.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's what my point. Yeah, when you get on a plane, like you don't have reception, but you could, if you have email or Wi-Fi, I guess you could scroll Facebook or Instagram or anything else. But you
could feed that addiction.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, when someone tells you, you have to turn it off. Nobody bitches when they go into a federal courthouse and you're not allowed to have your phone. You understand that. Well, it's a federal courthouse. It's against the law. I have to leave it in the car.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's no bitching there, but yeah, it's just, something happens, when people, cause we've had it at work in the past where phones have gotten out of control and, it's like, hey, leave them in your car. You can't be on your phone. And it's always the same thing. I got kids. And what if there's an emergency? Well, you've been here 5 years and there hasn't been an emergency yet, so they can call the shop. Just make sure.
Emergency posting from a TikToker, because when I saw you on your phone and you weren't like you were freaking checking in on your kids.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, just make sure that your kids have the shop number and they can call, and then you can, you'll be able to talk to them right away.
I had something this weekend that irked me about phones. So we go to my nephew's baseball game, right? My great nephew, and it's travel ball. So it's in a park, right? Lots of baseball diamonds. And then they actually have bleachers, a segmented bleacher section area on either side, right? Now, you can get off the bleachers. You can walk behind the bleachers. There's plenty of grass. Over there's the food place, back everything else. This guy would come and just sit on his phone while the kids are batting. Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. No. Well, the Swamp Rabbits are in the Stanley Cup. Yeah, they're going to play at the Bilo. And I'm going, first of all, like, if you're going to be on the phone, get off the bleachers, go off into the grass and talk in the open, because everyone around you is watching a game and the kids are playing. Secondly, the Swamp Rabbits are not in the Stanley Cup and they're not playing at the Bilo Center. So I didn't know what I wanted to do first. Yell at him for just talking, or just correct him for getting that information wrong about the Stanley Cup. But what was really irritating is that in a moment where everyone's trying to enjoy the baseball game, watch these kids play, he's on the phone yapping away.
Oh yeah, we have that at work all the time.
Or water. I looked over at Jen and we're just like, what the fuck? Like, come on.
Customer they'll be talking at their phone. It'll be on speaker.
Oh yeah.
If I'm in the office, I slowly turn the volume up on the TV until it's like so loud, like it's obnoxiously loud, and it's just like, take it outside, guy.
That gets me.
It's just oh my god, what's going on, Matt?
That, and it seems like FaceTiming live with the speaker on has been really popular too.
I don't get staring at your phone, just having a conversation with people, a loud conversation, surrounded by other people. Like, are you just that unaware of your fucking surroundings that, you just can't respect other people?
Nope.
Of like nobody wants to hear your conversation. It's the same people that you run into to Walmart or Aldi or Publix or Kroger or whatever, and they have no idea what's going on with their shopping cart. They get a shopping cart and they'll be parked in the middle of the aisle. They'll leave their cart and then they'll walk like halfway down the aisle, and and it's just like, be aware of your fucking surroundings.
Thank you. No, it's ridiculous. It was really irritating. It was irritating just because of the fact that everybody's sitting there watching the kids play baseball, and all you could hear is you talking to this guy talking top of his lungs, and it's like, and you're so the conversation that you're having, you're so off base with it. It's to be like, I don't know if I'm mad at you because you're talking that loud on the bleachers while the kids are playing baseball, or that you think the Swamp Rabbits ECHL hockey team is in the Stanley fucking Cup. Like, I don't know which one irritated me more. I think the Stanley Cup conversation irritated Jennifer more than anything, but it was a balance of irritation.
Yeah, and sadly with some of the today's society, you hear about, you almost can't say anything to anybody because you don't know what psychopath is going to pull something out and start blasting away at the fucking crowd because you called them out. But
you correct them, or they're going to act out and freaking start running their mouth and put on the freaking. It's like, there is no more fear of getting punched in the mouth.
Oh yeah.
There's no more fear of that. There's absolutely none. Just, you say something stupid, like you said, there's consequences, right? You say something stupid, you say something inappropriate, you do something wrong. I'm not a big fan or an advocate of violence. However, I can say that back in the day when there was that consequence of getting popped, it definitely kept a lot of the people from chirping.
Yeah, and now it's the fear of them only showing the 30 seconds of me knocking this guy the fuck out, and that's what gets played over social media over and over and over, and then I'm judged in the court of social media before it goes to trial, and they show the 90 seconds prior to like what happened, like me telling this guy to shut the fuck up, and then him taking a swing at me, and then I beat the piss out of him. And that's what shows up on social media.
Is this Jack Reacher, Jack Reacher on his bike. You got a couple of minutes of just him pummeling this guy, and I'm like, well, first of all, he's a large man, and you're not, and you're standing in the middle of the road while he's riding a motorcycle, and you push him off his bike. You're lucky that's all he did. He could have freaking murdered you. Good Lord Almighty.
Oh yeah, it's it's insane. But yeah, it was like I said, back in the day, it was the fear of just getting knocked the fuck out. It's just you didn't try that shit. You didn't try the shit in bars like they do now. Like you didn't mouth off, you did when you were pissed drunk, but it's just now it's just people just want to start shit.
Yeah.
Just because they know somebody's going to start recording something.
Yep. Yeah, back then, man, you ran your mouth. If you're drunk, you wake up the next morning and you're like, man, what happened? You open your mouth and freaking you opened the wrong guy and he knocked you out. Oh, okay. I guarantee you're gonna freaking you're not gonna show up at that bar probably for about a week or two because you're too embarrassed. And when you start showing up, you're gonna drink moderately. You're not gonna be drinking. I mean, there's gonna be some idiots who always never learn their lesson because that's just how they are. But there was always a checks and balance, back in the day. And that checks and balance was, if you're going to open your mouth, you better be able to back it.
That's it. And there was no back in the day. I know it was if your buddy got rowdy, or started mouthing off to somebody, and he got punched like there was no like there wasn't a group of us jumping in and beating that guy up. I'm like, hey man, you got your fucking ass handed to you. You were being a dick. Now if it went too far, like then you'd pull them off, you'd separate it, or if his buddies jumped in. But generally it was just a group of 4 or 5 guys. One of your buddies got a little too drunk, hit on someone's girl, he got punched, and then the guy in the bartender or the bar manager like, hey, you guys get your fucking buddy out of here, and you picked up your buddy and like, hey, thanks for ruining our night, and you drug him out, and then that was the end of it.
Yeah, I had a couple.
Sometimes it wasn't.
I had a couple of buddies that whenever they were hanging out with me, they definitely got chirpier. Because they knew I'm like, I'm gonna get your back, even if you're being stupid. I'm gonna get your back. Then I'm gonna freaking tell you how stupid you're being. And I learned the hard way. When someone runs their mouth and then you get caught up in the middle of it, then you get in trouble. And I'm like, I'm done with this. So then afterwards, it was like someone's, oh yeah, they get covered up. I was like, hey, listen, dude, if he comes over here and punches you in the face, then he's gonna punch you in the face, and you have to freaking fight him. Now, I'm not gonna let anybody else jump in. I'm not gonna let him beat the living snot out of you. However, you're being a dick, and I'm going to continue drinking my beer because I've been in situations where person A has run their mouth, they got punched, and then I stepped in and had to freaking clean up the mess, and then I got in trouble.
So we had a buddy of ours and his brother, 2 brothers, and these were all 3 very large black individuals that used to play college football, and they were their side gigs were bouncers at nightclubs, and so there were times I've had buddies that like they would get a little, if they were working, like they knew they could get a little chirpy, John and his brothers would be, it's like, not gonna let everything happen to my boy, Brian or Kevin, it just, so you did get a little bit, but if you left that club and you went to another club and that guy was there as well, I'm like, hey, where your boys at now? Yeah. It's like,
let's go back to the other club.
Yeah.
Who's working tonight?
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, I know what you mean on that one.
I've gotten in. I'll tell you what, man. I've got myself into trouble sticking up for people, and I'm like, you know what? That loyalty, it's great, but it only goes so far, And I had a lot of buddies of mine who had the same way. I mean, I'd done stupid shit when I was younger, and they always had my back, thank God. Yeah. Freaking, I'd blame it on the Mad Dog, but or the tequila. I gotta tell you, Kevin, I'm getting a bottle of this peanut butter tequila and send it to Jessica.
Yeah, she loved the peanut butter whiskey.
I'm gonna tell you something. Yeah. We went to the bourbon barn, right? It's right up the street from the wine and bourbon barn. I was talking to the guys about cigars, and Jennifer said, "Hey, there's a tasting test." I was like, "Yeah, whatever." I was talking. She comes back over. She got a bag in her hand. I go, "What?" Jennifer never walks into a liquor store and buy something unless it's for me. I go, what is that? She goes, it is peanut butter tequila and it is delicious. I said, first of all, you and tequila, delicious, never ever would enter my mind.
Yeah.
So we went over and I tasted it and it is freaking phenomenal. The next day I put it in my coffee in the morning. It was great. But it's 65 proof, so it's not like the 80, 90 proof. Yeah. And it's not freaking liqueur, 30%, whatever. So, but it does not have any tequila. It has enough of that tequila flavor to it. That's the good part, but not the tequila part. And the peanut butter does not taste synthetic or fake. It tastes real, genuinely good peanut buttery. It's delicious.
Yeah, it's and Matt, Jessica is a fan of tequila, and I gotta watch Jessica because Jessica becomes, I always say it, Jessica becomes the Notre Dame Fighting Irishman when she has a little bit too much tequila. I remember we were at Brian's, my buddy Brian's for a party going back like 8 years ago or so, and she had a little bit too much tequila, and she pushed me down, and I'm bleeding from my knee, and she called me a pussy, and because I like wouldn't fight her. Like, I'm not fighting you, so and then his kids, the younger kids, they had like them big wheels. So I still got a photo on my phone of her in the racing my nephew Peyton down the road with when they were both on big wheels, and halfway down the road she stopped, her head's back, and she's like passed out for like a minute on a big wheel, and it's just like whatever. And then we were down at Black Smoke Miami, and for the event, and we were next to the bar, and I didn't know until like halfway through the event that the fucking bartender that she befriended was feeding her tequila shots all night until it got obvious,
late.
And then a little too late. So we go back to the hotel, me, her, and Graham, and I crawl in bed. Graham crawls in bed. Jessica goes to the bathroom, and she's like dry heaving inside the bathroom. I mean, these noises coming out of the bathroom, and I'm just in my bed. Graham's in the other bed, and and we'd only been together for maybe a couple years at that point, and he's like, you gonna go in there and help her? I go, oh, this will teach her. And he's like what? So he goes in the bathroom and helping out his mom, and I'm like, I'm going to sleep.
Just don't
that's
puke
it.
on me.
That's it. She'll fucking learn. So I'm not helping you. I'm not holding your hair, getting you some water. You put yourself in this fucking situation. So there have been times that we've been out, I said, I'm always, the designated driver. I mean, I drink in moderation. I always know when to say when, but there have been times that we've been out and like with friends or whatnot. And then they're like, hey, anybody need another round? And, and I'm like, I'm like, I'll get this round. And then I'll come back with like a drink for me, like Brian and Brooke, and then a bottle of water for Jessica. And I remember one time she's like, what is this? And I go, you drink this, and then I'll go up and get you another drink. And she got pissed. I'm an adult. Well, then act like an adult. Drink this bottle of water, and I will get you another drink. So an event like that, I'm the I'm the asshole, but I'm the guy
voice of reason.
That's it. I'm the guy from keeping you from having the worst day possible tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
I haven't had like tequila in a long time. I mean, I've had a couple of tasters here and there of some of the really good tequila, and good tequila scares me.
Yeah,
because I know what Kerr's like with drinking tequila, like back in the day with the Jose Cuervo and the Monte Alba mezcal with the worm and stuff. And I know that's like, things do not end well when there's a lot of tequila involved. It's just bad news. And then I've had the good tequila when I was like my early 30s. And it's so delicious, it's so smooth, but it's still tequila. It fools you with this lovely flavor, and they talk about how smooth it is, but it's still freaking tequila. And I still think that there is a chemical in tequila that is the crazy chemical and can make you nutty. And I've had a few of the higher ends. I mean, now I'm talking, what is the Padrones? I've had the Cabo Wabo tequila from Sammy Hagar is really good. But then you get even into higher level tequilas that are like twice and 3 and 4 times the amount of money. That's even better, but it's still, I don't care. It's still tequila.
That's it, Matt. So all my cool sunglasses are still back here. When I'm wearing headphones, I got to wear my thin ones because the other ones spread out my hat, and they really, at the end of like a show, like my head will be hurting. So I can't wear my really cool ones on here. I was at friend of mine's years ago, and like a multi-millionaire, and the first time I ever had like this blue tequila, it was like blue agave or something, and it was like super premium high end, and I'm like, I don't like tequila, and he's like, just try it on the rocks. Same thing. I drink it, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is amazing. Like it's so smooth, and it was just, I'm like I could get used to this, and I could get, I could go down a dangerous path with this.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, it's a like real. And same thing when I had Matt Booth's gin. You know, he made me a drink. He made me a drink down at Smoke Inn. I'm like, I don't like gin, and I got a bottle back there. And he went up, and it was just a gin on the rocks, and he had like a lemon wedge that was in it, and I drank it, and I'm like, oh my, this is gin. You know, because I, you know, as a bartender, it was like I'm used to like
Hairspray
or Bombay or like all the other really heavy what is
Beefeaters.
it? Is it juniper? Is it the juniper berry? Is
It's
that
a
what
juniper berry. That's
juniper berry.
It's
and it was just like really
bitter freaking hairspray flavor to it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, it's nasty. But then when I tried his gin, I'm like, oh my god, this is gin. He goes,
I remember him saying is how they ferment the junipers. They don't do it as long, and that's where he gets it smooth. Because we got a bottle too, and it didn't last very long, and it was something that you could literally just drink. I felt bad when I put soda water in it because I always like gin and tonics, right? Or gin and tonic or gin and soda water with some lemon and lime. His, like, just skip the soda water and the tonic, just put in the freaking lemon and the lime. I like both of those in there, and it's perfect. And I remember, you know, back in the day, my mom, my sister always would spray Aquanet. You know, so you'd go into the bathroom following them,
you taste
and you get a mouthful of Aquanet. That's what gin tastes like. It tastes like fucking a mouthful of Aquanet. But his gin is so smooth.
It was a Maui Jim. That's what I've switched over to.
Yeah,
all my new cool ones.
Gin's so smooth. And it's I mean, it, like you said, there's certain drinks. Like I like bourbon. I like some scotches. I've actually got more into bourbons because I think a lot of these, so many different blends out there. They're not as, you know, it's not the Jim Beam and the Jack Daniels whiskeys that are like sugar water. I just drink a lot of scotch, but you know, and some vodkas too. The one thing I had, I don't even know if I have a bottle around anymore. I was looking for a rum, and I'm like, you know what? I just want to get a rum, you know. So I looked up, you know, what's a good middle of the road, not very expensive rum, and it gave me this. I can't think of it now, but I'll have to find it. But it gave me the name of this rum. I won over. It's $22 for a bottle. I'm like, oh, okay, got it. Screw top. All right, got it. Put it on the rocks. I took a sip. I was like, God dang, that is smooth. It's smooth, and it was going down. So I was sitting out here, the first night I had it, and I'm just, you know, watching TV and smoking cigars, drinking it. And I'm like, all right, I get up to go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, Nelly, I didn't realize I drank a half a bottle of it already. It was so smooth. And as I'm sitting there, I didn't feel anything until I stood up. And then I was like, okay, I realized that this rum is freaking, it's when it goes down that smooth and it tastes that good, it'll get you.
Yeah, you know, I've tried dozens and dozens of you know, different rums. People have tried, you know, going out to places because they know I like Bacardi. And like, oh, I'm gonna get you off Bacardi. And I always say, you know, Bacardi makes like rums that are like $45, $55, $60 a bottle, right? I mean, Bacardi has some like high-end smooth rum. You know, I still prefer that with my Diet Coke, but like their 18-year, you know, on a rare occasion, I will just drink that on the rocks because it is super smooth. I can't drink Bacardi Silver on the rocks. That's just that's a mix-in rum. But I've had rums that are you know, $100 for, you know, a little 3-ounce pour. And I just finally tell you, no, just stop. Like none of this tastes good. You know, Gary Brooks, he's in there. He brought me some of the rum. I forget what it is from Cuba. And then, and I had the Bacardi's version of the Havana Club. And I preferred the Bacardi's version of the Havana Club. It was just smoother. We went down when I went to that Cuba. You know, and we went to the factory and tasting all the different rums. And I'm like, yeah, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, it's like, I like Bacardi. I like, you know, I like Bacardi's Havana Club. I like Bacardi Black. I just like the way.
That's what you like, man. I mean, it's called Santa Teresa.
Yeah.
Santa Teresa. It's the Gran Reserva Ron Añejo. It's literally it's anywhere between 20 and $25. Now they have other high-end rums that are like $40, $50, $60, $70. But this one is their $20 to $25 rum, smooth as silk.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
I'll write it down and send you a link, Matt, to the ones that I have. And then, I know they do like a 30% for first responders and military. I don't know if that's former military as well. But they've got, and I'll make sure I send you the link for the Stingray. That's a really good, glass from a Maui gym for, smaller faces. Luckily, my optometrist, is a distributor or a dealer of like a whole bunch of glasses, but they have like a whole wall of Maui gyms. And so every now and then I just go in there and I just try on different ones. Can we help you? Nope. Just gonna
Window
try
shopping.
I'm just gonna try these on, take a picture of the tag, and then go online because my daughter's a nurse and she gets 30% off. So they're like, "Yeah, we understand."
You
So
know what we got to do? We got to do our next top 10, don't we?
yes, we got to do our next top 10. So these are the top 10 inventions of your lifetime. So let me
Where did we end off last time?
so I believe we were number 5 last time. No, yeah, we finished with number 5, so we're on number 4.
All right.
So last week KMA, they were at number they picked their number 4, so we're on number 4.
Right.
Theirs was Alex and had a his number 4 and my number 4 were the same. I'll give it away, but he had the GPS.
Yeah, that was
Coop
my number
had
5.
the space station. Abe had artificial intelligence, and Jessica was on KMA last week. Which anybody that had KMA Talk Radio last week, that was an amazing episode. Not just because Jessica was on, that whole conversation from beginning to end was just so smooth. It's one of the best episodes that they've done in a while. And it was just great. They had a great conversation. So she had AOL Instant Messenger.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that.
So obviously you knew mine, February 22nd, 1978, the first GPS satellites were launched.
Mine is the microprocessor, the brain of modern electronics, 1971, a year after I was born. So that is when the microprocessor was born. It's a year younger than I am. 55 years.
Man, it was a lot of things. You know, the microprocessor really shaped society. Now that we've got the AI data centers, popping up everywhere, and people have their opinions on whether they're good, they're bad. Obviously, they're not great for the environment at all. As they're standing now, not great for local communities having to chip in. Florida, luckily, we don't have any, and then the one guy that's in the lead for running our governor, because he's termed out this year. The one thing he said, if you're going to put a AI data center in Florida, you're not going to drain the resources of the local community, and you're not passing along the electronics. Some of these states are coming in, they're giving these data centers billions of dollars worth of tax, hundreds of millions to billions of dollars worth of tax credits. And then the infrastructure gets passed along to the consumer. When these local, power companies have to feed these things and put in all this infrastructure that is costing, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. And then who's paying for that? Well, it's the community. The community has to pay for that. So luckily in Florida, we also have our local our Florida Power and Light. They can't just raise your rates. If they raise your rates, they have to go to our state the Senate, and they have to say, hey, we had all of this damage from a hurricane, or we're converting justified to underground. This is justified. This is the amount that it's going to cost, and here's a projected increase for this timetable, and then that's it. You get your 10-year increase or your 5-year increase, and then that's it. If you go over budget, that's not our problem. That's your problem. Your increase ends at this time, and that's it. You don't get any more money. So we, but yeah, these data centers, you hear people's electric bills going from $200-300 a month to $500-600 a month because it's a data center.
Yeah.
It brought in thousands of jobs building it, but then it's dozens of jobs maintaining it. So it's not. Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're paying the tab. I mean, so and it's I definitely think that is a major issue and concern. And I know we talked before about nuclear power plants that are freaking now being used to power these centers. And you know what? That's being reconsidered on bringing them back again. I mean, they spent how many years? Clean energy, clean energy. No one wanted to hear about it. Now all of a sudden, you're kind of faced with this this technological juggernaut that requires a lot of power. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to build another factory that burns oil and coal, and while all of you in pretty much in that whole freaking in that little corner of the universe, you're all worried about the carbon footprint and saving the earth. But it's negotiable as long as you can get your AI to freaking make you a funny picture of your wife in a bathing suit or your freaking husband on a freaking fishing boat. Come on.
That's it. So I don't know where these data centers are. I mean, you look at the guy from Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful there. I forget what his real name is.
Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary. He's got that one big out one that he's proposing out in Utah. Like, I don't like 30,000 acres or something and he's looking for a grant for several billions of dollars from the state to build this out. And there's not even any water there because these are all water cooled. I know Elon Musk is talking about, trying to figure out how to make them, air cooled without, because some of them are a mixture of air, some of them have water, but it's like where are you getting your water from? Where are you getting where are you getting electricity from?
How much money is that going to cost to ship in the water it's going to need to cool that plant and do it on a cyclical basis,
or you're building pipelines that are hundreds of miles long because it's out in the middle of nowhere. And it's that place in my state is getting a big black backlash. It's they're starting to they're really the backlash is growing because these communities that they've already gone into, now we're finding out from the residents. You saw that one video from the resident that she had the news at her house and she go to turn on her faucet and nothing came out. And because the data center at its peak was drawing more water than was available. So like the town, I don't know where this was from. I just watched that, or Jessica sent it to me today or yesterday. And the residents didn't have water because of the data center. And then in one community, it went through the city commission, and they agreed to bring in the data center and give them the land, and didn't tell the residents. They weren't informed. They didn't vote on it, and there was such big backlash. And they just had an election like a month ago, a couple weeks ago. Every single member that voted to approve it did not get reelected.
Gone.
Every single person that came in said that they would there would be a referendum because it hadn't even broke ground yet, and it would decline the data center. It's like so the residents are like they're voting. You want to push this shit through, get the fuck out of here. So
no, it's that is it's a situation and a concern that's not going to get any better anytime soon.
It's nuts. And I honestly, I don't know the reason for so many, spread across the country, and I know it's for AI. It's also for other cloud computing, cloud storage, but, I don't get it. I don't understand why we need hundreds, if not thousands of these data centers. I don't, I really don't know the reason behind it.
You got to clear out your pictures, Kev. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's all the cigar influencers taking their pictures and storing them in the cloud.
Yeah.
You figure, there's just so much. There's an app every minute. There's just so much going on. AIs, everybody has an AI. I mean, I mean, just looking at the microprocessor, how much tech, how much, how the leaps and bounds in 55 years.
Yeah.
You know, well, I mean, when you look at other 50-year blocks of time, you know, has there been that, you know, how much advancement was there from like 1450 to 1500, or, you know, 1800 to 1850? You know, there was advancements, but not to the extent that we're seeing. I mean, it's jumping. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, Moore's law. You know, I mean, every year it's exponentially, and it's starting to slow down now. You know, it's not doubling at the rate at it has for the last 50 years, but it's still exponentially getting better, better and better. And I think we we're not at our limit, but they say we're close to the limit of what the microchips, microprocessors, how small we can make things before we really quantum computing is obviously the next step, and it's
Getting at areas you shouldn't get into. But I mean, you just look over the last year of making AI videos, how much better they've
yeah
got. And that's just our shit. I mean, Lord knows what the hell the freaking government has, from
oh yeah
I
what they're
mean,
really doing.
what
Yeah,
they're really doing. I mean, that's just
yeah,
crazy. I can't even imagine, you
yeah.
know.
It's definitely well beyond would you like to play a game,
Oh, it's
war games, yeah,
it's definitely beyond the stupid shit that we make, and we can, muster up in videos of, those Bigfoot running through the forest and goofing around and all that funny shit in pictures. I mean, it's at a whole different level. I mean, they got all the alien technology, and they're using up the big alien technology. They're just allowing us to fiddle with, AI and Velcro.
that's it. And the only benefit of this Iran war situation of getting worse is I think we're going to get more alien releases. I think that's how they're going to keep our minds off of it, because um, we're coming up on like us paying $6, $7, $8 a gallon. It's not too far away. It really isn't. California will be $10 a gallon, really fast within the next few weeks to a
It'll be
month.
interesting if, I mean, once
Yeah.
they get the whole straight thing situated. I think that's going to be, but that's not easy.
That's
Pleasy,
not any
easy.
that's not any immediate, I
No.
know I just watching was it Exxon, Shell, and what is the other third one? I can't remember. It was they said second week of July, and they'll be done. There'll be no more reserves. They'll be 100% depleted. And that's when it's going to start to get scary, and it's going to take a year, if the strait opened up, like right now, like
Yeah.
we'll still be burning through our reserves, and it's going to be a year or more before those reserves get filled. So that's the only thing keeping the pricing down now is just the reserve. So they said the second week of July, all the big ones have said it, like we're done. There's nothing else we can.
That's it. Saying that's like a jack the price up, Kevin. They got plenty of them.
Yeah.
They do.
So
Come on. That's, it's, I mean,
they
got
to
to project. I get it. But I do think that, come on.
Yeah, I think they said there's only 300 million barrels left in the reserve, and it's I don't know. I don't know. They're going to use it as an excuse, but we're going to see some serious gas prices. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to get too political. So it's getting scary out there.
It definitely is. I mean, it's, you start seeing, you see gas price, everything's going up. Everything. I mean, and that's the price you pay. I mean, that's the price you pay whenever you have, wars, and you have situations like this, especially when you're dealing with warring nations that fiddle with oil.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, oil, gas, all that is necessary to transport items and product from point A to point B. And when those costs go up, items costs are going to go up in order to freaking
Oh yeah,
match that and
that's it.
and account for that. So
They're
you
gonna
know,
have to they're gonna have to release the 0 point energy. They're gonna have to do it. And
you know what? This may be leading up to that, to the point where you just get to the to an area where we just go, listen, we're just gonna freaking turn Iran into a freaking parking lot, because now that we've released all this alien information, we have 0 point energy, and we're gonna harness it.
yeah, that's it. Iran, Saudi Arabia, all the OPEC countries, those all instantly overnight become a third world
Oh
you know
yeah, I mean
Congolese states.
it's
They're
the
just
reason why. I mean, if there any of that energy that they talk about that's available, I mean, they can't release it. Like you said, it would
it would
turn these
destroy
countries.
countries.
It would just millions of people.
Yeah. Now, I mean,
Impact.
we'll always need oil for, plastics, fabrics, things like that, but we won't need it for,
Not,
we,
not
we
all the
still we
major
still need
stuff.
we still need lubrication, we still need asphalt, we still need gasoline, so we'll still need fuel, or oil, but just not to the point to where where we need it now.
No,
You
I mean,
know, I mean,
if
it
tomorrow,
be
if you
nothing.
said all the vehicles no longer needed fuel,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if how long it would take for 0 point energy. Say if it was released tomorrow, it would be 20 years before cars were drastically
well, we'd
transformed. I
start
mean,
bigger with houses. I mean, I understand
yeah.
that
Oh
part.
yeah,
It
you
would,
have your
it would,
houses, your
it would
electricity,
start
everything plugged
big.
in.
Yeah.
It makes recharging electric cars that much easier. But yeah. So I mean, the world will still need oil for hundreds of years. But yeah, but for
It'll be a dip. It'll be, I mean, especially like you said, you'd have to start off with the infrastructure with,
oh yeah,
building
power
houses,
plant, yeah,
power
power
plants.
plant. I mean, power plants are like they won't need coal, they won't need oil, they won't need natural gas, so yeah, those are all shut down. We'll still have refineries because I still need my plastic components, so I still
Mhm.
have petroleum. We still need roads for asphalt, but you don't have to process crude that far to get asphalt. It's
No,
That's
no.
like the first thing that comes off.
No,
So
it'll definitely be a downsizing, but it won't, like I said, it won't go away. And then by the time it reaches cars, it'll be so far out, because at
yeah.
that point, you're going to upset the whole automobile industry
Oh
on
yeah.
how they're going to make vehicles. So yeah, the combustible engine is just going to be a freaking thing of the past.
That's it. So, all right, we've got a few minutes left. One quick KMA. They also the conversation turned to um uh I don't know. I can't even remember. I watched all the episode. Which would you rather face, a shark attack or a bear attack? Which one could you survive? Which one would you rather be? What situation would you rather be in, Care, where you think you have a better chance of surviving?
Bear attack.
Yeah, I think that was. Let me see what the Um, I haven't voted yet. So yeah, bear 73%, shark attack 27%.
Sharks, no. I mean, first of all, you're in the water, and they freaking are ridiculous. I mean, sharks scare the shit out of me. They just do.
Yeah,
Um,
a shark attack, like that shark is coming in. There are accidental bites all the time.
yeah,
Sharks accidentally bite you and then go off. A
yeah,
bear doesn't accidentally bite you and then it's like, oh, hey, this isn't food, and then runs off like a shark. A
no,
bear continues to attack you, but a shark that's coming after you,
yes,
yeah, you could hit if you hit it on the nose the right way, and there's
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
chance,
Because
but
you're calm and cool, and you're gonna hit them on the
yeah, it's
nose,
it.
and you're gonna
But
kick and
you're
scream.
also in the water bleeding out,
Yeah,
and
no, no, dude.
yeah.
I get the whole concept of when a bear, they're hungry, they're gonna play with you, they're gonna eat you, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, and it's. But if I have the opportunity, at least in my stupid brain, I feel that I have the ability to maybe run, hide, juke out a bear, which I know I
Yeah.
can,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
well before I could outswim a shark.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'd rather face a bear head on and than face a shark because
Yeah.
I mean I grew up in the water. I mean it's you don't see them. You know, they are sneaky things. And then obviously we've all watched Shark Week of, you know, like the cameras that are in the water and, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, swimming straight up, you know,
Yeah.
just
Out of nowhere.
launches you in the air, you
Yeah.
know,
Fast as hell, man. I mean, listen, and you get talking about our greatest inventions in our lifetime. One of the scariest movies in my lifetime was not called Bear. It
yeah,
wasn't called Grizzly. It wasn't
yeah,
called When a Grizzly It was called Jaws.
yeah.
It's
That,
scared the hell. Fuck that.
that that's it. Fuck that. So yeah,
No.
I'm with you on that one. So I'd rather face a bear than anything else.
Yeah, I can at least poke a bear in the eyes. I mean,
Yeah,
look at
there's
it.
a
No,
yeah,
I mean,
play dead and hopefully it leaves you alone.
yeah, I don't know,
But
man. I mean, I've seen the bears, stuffed bears, at my uncle's, everybody's hunting and stuff. You see their paws and you just look at them going, God.
I never until we went to North Carolina, I'd never seen a stuffed bear. We got a picture of all of us. That was our first family trip when Jessica and I got together and we went to Maggie Valley, North Carolina. We stopped this place. We all got a picture in front of a bear, and I go, "That's how big a bear is."
Yeah, yeah. They stand up
Like
there
because it was
hind
standing up
legs.
and like and the paws. And I'm like,
Oh,
that's how big the claw is.
yeah,
Are you
yeah.
shitting? Are you shitting me?
It's
It's
like a
like
freaking tire.
it's like an 8 inch a claw on the on that dinner plate.
On
You
the,
know,
yeah,
it's
the
like
8-inch claw on a freaking hubcap,
yeah
on an 18-inch wheel,
on a hubcap.
and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and
if
it's like oh I didn't know bear was 12 feet tall.
yeah, they
You
stand on their
know,
back
or
legs, and if you don't
yeah,
shit your pants, you're freaking. There's no way.
yeah, yeah,
No, no, no. Bears. I mean, I'll still stick with sharks, but bears are no joke. They can outrun you. They can outclimb you. They can swim. I mean, that's another creature. Like if you get on land, a shark can't freaking chase you on land. But if
land shark.
land shark, I'm
Yeah,
only
land
I'm
shark.
only a dolphin man.
Yeah.
But if you're running and you're like, I'm gonna jump in the water, get away from this bear. Oh, what? They can swim really well? Oh,
Yeah,
great.
yeah. That's it. You know,
Nah,
and yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's yeah,
it's a
no,
tough one to
not
escape.
happening. All right, everybody. It's been 2 hours. Been a great show. So hopefully you've had some fun. You've learned some things. Um, always use the same tape measure on a job. That's if you take away nothing else from this show.
Wisest advice of the evening.
That's it. So, all right, we'll see everybody back again next Monday night.
We'll see you.
Kerr, you have a good night.
You too, bud.